This is the Nemo Moonlite Elite chair. It claims to be a true backpacking chair that is both lightweight and comfortable. It's potentially the Helinox Chair Zero killer. But how has it handled my rigorous testing over the course of hundreds of nights? Is it light enough to justify bringing on a backpacking trip? Are the features it has enough to differentiate it from the Chair Zero and make it more comfortable and easier to use? And finally, who is it really for? Today, I'm going to share everything that's good and bad about the Moonlite Elite to see whether it stacks up to the competition. Starting with what's good, the first thing is that it's very easy to put together. It just uses a standard chair configuration where you have a pole frame and then a piece of fabric material that fits up over top of that. With the Moonlite Elite, I really like the system that Nemo's implemented for attaching the fabric to the poles. It doesn't use pockets like you see with a lot of other brands. It uses these kind of ball and groove system, which makes it so that when you're putting it together, you don't have the fabric kind of popping off occasionally and making it kind of annoying. It's happened to me with both the REI FlexLite Air chair and the Helinox Chair Zero. Those little cups that the poles go into just aren't the most effective system. The other thing is the weight. It's 621 grams all in, so not the lightest option on the market, but still fairly lightweight and probably good enough for most people. I bring this chair on tons of trips, including on trips where my base weight is under 10 pounds, and I've been able to achieve those base weights with bringing the Moonlite Elite chair. Comfort is also a plus for me with the Moonlite Elite. It has just kind of a nice shape to it. You also get this really neat feature where you can put it into recline mode by just pulling on these two tabs, or cinch the tabs all the way up so that you're sitting a bit more upright. Maybe if you're sitting around a fire or eating dinner, you can have an upright mode, whereas if you're just kind of relaxing watching the sunset, put in recline mode. And having those two options does increase the comfort for me of the Moonlite Elite. I find it a very sturdy chair as well, sturdier than some of the other ultralight camp chairs out there. It just doesn't twist and turn as much. I feel a little bit more stable when I'm sitting in this. The big plus for me, and probably really why I bring this over all the other chairs on the market, is because of the fact that the case that wraps around the chair acts as a floor mat for the chair. So the feet go into this kind of footprint, and then it makes it so that the legs don't sink into soft ground, which is amazing if you're set up on sand or softer, muddier ground. Moving on to what's bad about the chair, there are a couple things. The first one being the fact that comfort is subjective. And I know for a lot of people out there, especially if they have broader shoulders or a broader back, when they sit in the Moonlite Elite, the tops of the chair digs into their back and their sides. And I could see how that could happen. I'm probably just small enough that I'm not dealing with that problem. I'm 5'10", 180 pounds, and I don't find that digs into me too much, but I can see how it'd be a problem. The other issue is the price. Ultralight gear is not cheap, and the Moonlite Elite costs $180 US. That being said, it does include a built-in footprint system, whereas you have to pay extra with a lot of other chairs for that, but still pretty costly. So does it stack up? The Helinox Chair Zero and the REI FlexLite Air are kind of the main two other ultralight options, and both of them are lighter than the Moonlite Elite. The Helinox Chair Zero is a little bit less expensive if you just want the chair at $140, but if you want a footprint, then you're paying $40, and that brings it basically in line with the Moonlite Elite. That being said, the REI FlexLite Air is an insane deal at about $100, often going on sale. So it's about half the price of these other two chairs, the Chair Zero and the Moonlite Elite, and is maybe a little bit less comfortable than these two options, but very lightweight, and you can't beat that price. With the price increase recently to $180, I don't think the Moonlite Elite necessarily stacks up, especially to the REI FlexLite Air. That's probably the chair that I would recommend and I'd get if I was getting a chair right now. The footprint is nice, but it's something that you could probably live without unless you're basically only camping on sand. And that brings us to who the Moonlite Elite is for. If you really like the recline feature and it's kind of a deal breaker for you, then the Moonlite Elite's really the only option out there. Or if you're camping, like I said, on sand a lot or really soft ground, then having that built-in footprint's really nice. Otherwise, I'd probably just go with the FlexLite Air. Go check out this video if you want to see me review the Helinox Chair Zero. It's lighter, but doesn't have quite as many features as the Moonlite Elite, but it's one of the main other options on the market.